Welcome back to part 2 of the channeling. Divine Masculine's mother loves and accepts the Divine Feminine. As I had mentioned in part 1, this channeling is for those people who have been in the journey and who have been open to inner work, who have healed their wounds. So there is a big shift and there is a big change in the energy of the Divine Masculine as well as his other family members. So where I ended the channeling was, now this happened in the past where he was really fed up with the runner-chaser dynamic or the fights and the coming back, the union, but still things not working out, still so many issues. So after getting fed up of all this, he really was going through a difficult time fixing the relationship, fixing things with the Divine Feminine. And after all of his attempts, he simply could not do it anymore. So either the mother figured it out, because when you're not happy, you're constantly grumbling, or you're constantly having mood swings, or you're having issues, or people can see, those who love you can see when you're not happy. So either the mother found out on her own, or she just figured out that the son is not happy these days because the separation phase was approaching. So it was becoming heavier for him. Or he himself walked up to her just for advice that I have this person in my life which I seem to, I can't get rid of her. She keeps coming back. I keep going back to her, but it's been very difficult. So what should I do, mother? So based on all of that dynamic, the mother advises him or suggests him to not continue this type of a love affair, which is so toxic, which is so difficult, which is so negative for him, and it is causing him all of this emotional stress and trauma. And any mother would do that. If you are a mother also, and tomorrow you see that your son is not happy about something, and he otherwise feels that this is the one for him, this is the girl he wants to spend his life with, or this is the girl he's in love with, but he also tells you that this girl never understands me, she's always fighting with me, she's always angry with me, I don't even know what bad I've done to her, but she never expresses love to me. Or even if she does express the love to me, but there are many issues between us. In some cases, it's not like the Divine Masculine is completely pointing the finger towards the feminine. In some cases, in fact, he is confused. Like, why do we have issues? She seems to love me, I seems to love her, I seem to be in love with her, she seems to be in love with me, and she's attractive and I'm attracted to her, but still we have these issues. Like, why? And then comes a point where he cannot take it anymore. All of this intensity, it's natural. It's natural for anyone. And this is something that the Divine Feminine can only understand when she is in separation for a longer period of time, when it goes no contact. Because initially, as I said in part 1, there are some Divine Feminines who move on from him. They say that, okay, fine, I called him, I messaged him, I tried to fix things out, I tried to make things work. Because even she's in confusion. She also doesn't understand that why is this relationship not working? Why are there so many issues between us? Why can't I be like all my other friends? Why can't I live a normal life when it comes to love? Why all my relationships are so negative or so difficult? But at that point in time, she's more focused on the masculine, in the sense she thinks that he's the problem. So she also thinks, or she also decides to move on and go to the karmic. Now this will play out for some people and it may not play out for some people. For some people, it could simply be that she checks her options online. Maybe she downloads an application like OKC or Cupid or Tinder, or there are so many of them nowadays. And she talks to a couple of guys and she's thinking that, I'm not going to go back to this guy anymore because he's just not treating me well. So might as well, start all over again. For some of them, it's a very intense karmic connection because she's already in the mood to move on, and then she may meet someone and things happen and this and that. So what happens is that the karmic is placed in both of their lives, be it the Divine Masculine or the Divine Feminine, to make them understand that they really only want to be with their own person, not anyone else. Because in case of feminines, the karmics are always very nice. They are going to take her out on dates and they are going to show all the intimacy. They will say all the nice things to her. But still she doesn't want to be with him. Still she feels that, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with this guy. Even though he's saying all the nice things, he's doing what my masculine was supposed to do for me. He's doing all of that. He's holding my hand and walking with me. He's talking to me for hours. He's taking me to a mall, or we are having food at a restaurant. He's coming to meet me in the night time, or he's seeing me after work. Every day he's coming to me to meet me after work, or he's taking me to his gym, or he's making me meet his friends. He wants me to even meet his family members. So all of that would look good for some time, for 15 days, 20 days, a month, and for some even more. But after that, it is going to become a hellish thing for her, that she would not even want to talk to him, take his phone call, because he would have more of the problems. Because the karmics are not spiritual by nature. The karmics are materialistic by nature. All karmics have a materialistic agenda. So because of the materialistic agenda, she will not feel comfortable with the karmic, and then she will, then the channelings will happen. Then she will come back online. At one point, she's very stubborn. She's like, no, I don't want to go back to him. And all of those people who write all these long mails and messages to me, which I don't know why they're writing to me, because some of them are like, I don't want you to do a reading for me. I don't want anything, but I just want to write this to you. It's because they want to write it to the masculine, or they want to talk to someone, but they don't talk to themselves or to the universe or to the God. So they just write all these very long comments with a lot of hatred and hurt and anger and resentment in it. But this happens only when they have realized that they want the divine masculine back. And when they listen to the channelings, some of them, not all of them, I'm talking about some specific cases which anyone can resonate with, that they go on, like getting very angry, and they say, he is this, he is that. And then I want to ask those ladies these questions. Then why are you listening to the channeling? Why are you coming back and doing research work? Why are you trying to find out more about the twin flame journey? Why are you suddenly, after deciding to go away from him, after thinking that he's the culprit, he did so many bad things to you, then why do you want to listen to where he is, what is he thinking? So it all happens, when you read the channel love letters. A lot of people who read the channel love letters, they are also the same people who were in denial of the divine masculine's love. They were stubborn. They were so stubborn. They were like, no, he did me wrong. He did me bad. He left me. He ran away from me. He's a mean person. But still, when they read the love letters, or they listen to the love letters, or they listen to these channelings, many of them start blushing. They know that this is exactly what the divine masculine would be feeling for her. How does that happen? So all of those people, I would like to say that the inner work is what is much needed in this journey, because there are so many wounds you have which are in the deep subconscious mind, in the deep subconscious reality. And those are the wounds that create friction between you and the divine masculine, even mentally. Like one day you are feeling very nice about him. You remember the time you met at a park, or you remember the time when you went for a movie, or you were in his car, or you were listening to music together, or you had an intimate moment. You're very happy about it. And the next day, suddenly you think about something bad he did to you, and you're very angry. And then again, you're very happy about it, and then you're sad. And then one fine day, you actually tell to God or to universe, to your masters or guides or angel friends, that why am I doing this? One day I love him, one day I hate him, one day I love him, one day I hate him. So these are the reasons, these are the connections, these are all connected to the unhealed parts of you. The part of you which loves him unconditionally will make you remember all the good things with him. The parts that you are unhealed, that will make you remember all the bad things. But we all create our reality with the way we think. So if you continue to blame him, it won't change my life or anyone's life for that matter, not even his life, because he's living his life somewhere. It's you who has to change, make the change, not because someone is there to blame you or make you feel guilty, but because we create our own reality. Whatever is within you will be reflected outside of you. And this is something that you can listen to people who are in union, or people who are doing the mission work, or people who are channeling the messages, or the healers. These type of people know, because they know the other side as well, you know. So really, it's not about what has happened in the past. Rather, it's more about how you feel in the present, and what you feel now will create your upcoming reality. And if you look at the words past, present, and future, past and future are like regular words. But when you look at the word present, present itself means gift. So to be in the present is a gift. To know in full awareness, complete awareness of your existence, to be one with the source, because the source is always in the present moment. The source, only the ego lives in the past and the ego lives in the future. So when these thoughts, these are the programmed thoughts, or the wounded thoughts, or the wounded parts of you, it's like the ghost of your past. They keep telling you that he did bad to me, he did bad to me, he did wrong to me. You should look at your face at that time, or you should look at your body, or you should look at your energy at that time. You're so full of resentment and so full of hatred, and there is no faith in that moment that things can be nice too, or things can change, or things can be good. But this channeling is for those divine feminines who actually stepped further, stepped away from that type of negativity, and they took responsibility for their own lives. They looked deeper within, and they took accountability, and they said that I'm going to change my life, and I'm not going to depend on anybody else. I'm not going to blame my family, my legacy. I'm not going to blame the DM or anyone. Okay, it happened. Great, it happened, because it taught me a lot of lessons, and I'm in a much better position. I'm much more privileged, and I'm much more gifted. I have so many things that the universe has given to me. So I'm not going to keep focusing on those negative situations that took place, and I will rather focus on working on my own self, and I will be on my personal growth and development. Now this, when it keeps going on and on and on, it creates a different energy, and it creates a new person. This is also one of the stages where the rebirth happens of the divine feminine. And because the divine feminine and divine masculines are mirrors, he also goes through a phase of rebirth. Metamorphosis happened, and it's more like he also feels, he also starts thinking that bad things happen between everyone. So the big problem with divine masculine is that he is very scared, and that happens after you face a lot of rejection in life. What he thinks that once there is a big fight, everything is over. Or if there is a big fight, it's a big problem. Fights are big problems. You know, if two people are fighting, that means they don't love. They don't have this concept that people can be different, people can have arguments, and they can come back to one another after having an argument. And of course, they figure out that there are healthier ways to have arguments also. Some people go on silent wars. They are also unhealthy. So with respect to another person's boundary, with respect to his own boundary, with respect to other people's emotions and your own emotion, you realize that people can have bad days, good mood, bad mood. But that doesn't mean that you will become mean, and you will become so inhuman, that you would say certain things that really should not be said, or you would be in the extreme of negativity. Like, if I can give this example to you. If, for example, a friend of yours does not pick up the phone, you call them up, it's very important, you want to talk to them about something, they don't pick up the phone. They don't pick up the phone, it's 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours goes by, they don't pick up the phone, or they don't call back. Now for a normal person, they would think that, okay, this person must be busy. They will call me back, and they will message me or whatever, or I will message again after a while, and I will find out. But for a negative person, or who's thinking about negative situations, they might as well think that, is this person dead? What if he is met with an accident? What if he's got himself hospitalized? What if he's got the coronavirus for the current situation? Or what if he's got a heart attack? Or what if he's lost the phone? Why is he not messaging me? And their anxiety is so high that they cannot understand or they cannot believe that someone could be busy taking a nap, could have slept, could have dozed off, or would have gone for a walk, or maybe the phone is on silent, or maybe they're busy with some work. They don't think about those possibilities or probabilities. They straight away think about a very bad thing that could have happened to them. And if this continues in all areas of life, that is how you get anxiety. And then you start creating the same situations, so this channeling is a very positive channeling for those people who have been in this journey for some time now, and they have devoted their time and energy and focus on their own personal growth and development. So what I see is that the same mother who said to the Divine Masculine that she may not be the right person for you, after some time, she only tells the Divine Masculine, like the Divine Masculine walks up to her again, or she sees that he's in tension. So she says, what happened to you? And now I will bring up another element that has also been popping out in this channeling. When I started, it was not there, but now it's popping out a lot. It is the concept of karmic at the end of the Divine Masculine. So the Divine Masculine, basically, why does he meet the karmic? He meets the karmic to know the difference between fake love and real love. Because the karmics are going to be very superficial. Again, they are always materialistic. On both sides, they are like that, very superficial. And again, I don't want to say the karmics are horrible or they are bad or whatever. I don't want to get into that zone. But they are just not the same energy as the Divine Feminine, because the Divine Feminine is spiritual and she is materialistic. She is more earthly goals and all that. So he doesn't know that, because the karmics are also good actors, or they always have an agenda. So the mother and the son, both of them think that the karmic is the right person for them, for their family, or for the son. Or even the son thinks that, she would take good care of my mother, or she would be, a nice extension to my family, to my already existing family. But it's only when they have an experience with her, it's only when they realize that, oh my God, this is really a next level of problem. Then he starts thinking about the Divine Feminine, that my Divine Feminine was just, screaming and shouting at me, fighting with me, or, trying to work things out, or whatever they were issues. They could have been worked out. I should not have, freaked out so much, or it was too intense. The love was too intense, but the love was at least real. Here, there is no love, there is no intensity. On top of that, there is so much pressure. He feels like he's drained on all levels, emotionally, financially, physically, mentally. And doing all of this when there is no love, and obviously she portrayed a picture, or he took that picture too, because he was not ready for the real deal. So he also picked up that choice. He also made that choice, and so did his family, if the family was involved. Or otherwise, the mother would just keep saying, oh, she's such a nice girl, she's such a nice girl, for the karmic. She obviously doesn't know the feminine as such, because the feminine, if the masculine is like a ghost in her life, so is the feminine in his life. He talks about her a lot. He has spoken about her, or he tells her, that this is how she is. But he's never really gotten into the proper commitment zone with her. For some of you, yes, there was commitment, but it was still never like the conventional thing. So when things are not conventional, they can be confusing. So from the mother's perspective, she had not met an unconventional girl like that. Now let me tell you that the Divine Masculine's mother is also a nice person. She's a spiritualistic lady. She's a good person, but because of her own societal programming, and because of her own upbringing and the way she lived her life, she also never could be completely free and out there, living her dreams, doing her things. She also had to do whatever the society or the marriage or the relationship complied her to do. So, complied her to do, she had to do it. She was, even if say she wanted to live a hippie life, or she wanted to go away, burn the sage, dance or party, or just meditate, or be in solitude, or live in nature, she would still continue to live in the city, or do the businesses that the family is involved in. Or if not the business, even if she's staying as a homemaker, she's not fully living herself, her complete identity. But she is a good person. She's a spiritualistic lady. That's why she has given good morals to the divine masculine. The divine masculine technically is a genuine person. He cannot fake love, or he cannot do, 2-timing and 3-timing and things like that. So that's the reason why he chooses the karmic, and he decides to, completely remove the feminine. Now, in some cases, only one karmic will not be enough to teach the lesson. The first karmic will come, and she will, give them a big blow, and then they would be like, oh my God, she was such a crazy person. But then they would think that maybe she is crazy, something is wrong with her. Then the second karmic will come, and she will do something similar or even worse. And in some cases, the third one comes, and by that time, both the mother and the son and all the other family members are like, oh my God, these people, these women, something is wrong with them. And by that time, the son is completely understood and realized person who knows that all of this is happening because he is the one who's making the wrong choice again and again. And he somehow needs to build the courage and bring out that side of him that will make her face the divine feminine, and that will make him go and tell her that she's the one. But then to, after saying no, in no contact, in no communication, being mad at one another, and after running away, and then after making these type of stupid choices, it's not easy for him to face her. But then what I see is that slowly and gradually that phase will go away, and he will approach her somehow. He will build in the courage, and he will also, make sure that the family knows that he is now only looking for true love. He won't make any compromises. Neither he would, get upset if there is a difficult situation or there's a fight. In fact, in all these days, he has also done his research work, how to be in a relationship, or how to be in a spiritual lifestyle, how to be in a more natural lifestyle, and how to, respect other people's mission work, other people's spiritual likings and dislikings. All of those things he learns. And by this, I don't mean to say that all spiritual people wear white robes and they leave their hair open and they are dancing in front of the fire. That's not really completely spiritualistic lifestyle. Those are people who, the people who wear robes, and they are all different people. There are different types of spiritualistic lifestyles. So for householders also there is a spiritualistic lifestyle, where you could be wearing the regular clothes, watching regular stuff, going out for the movies, doing all the, householder stuff, but you're always doing it with more awareness, with more compassion, with more gratitude, and, being more natural and authentic. And that's exactly what you will show to the other people. And you will also, start living in a reality where you know that mistakes happen. Human beings make mistake, and we are all here to dissolve our previous karma. Past life exists, and there are other dimensions, there are other lives, there are other planets, there are extraterrestrials also living. All of these things, there is more acceptance towards it, because a lot of these things are being talked by the divine feminine, and he used to think she's cuckoo in the head, like she is stupid. She thinks that there are aliens, or she thinks that there are extraterrestrials, or she thinks that there could be, negative entities, or we have rebirth, or we are getting reincarnated, and I am in a twin flame relationship. What the hell is this twin flame relationship? And I am divine masculine. Like, what the hell is divine masculine? He won't be like that anymore. He would be more accepting towards the spirit side of the life. So far, he had only been told about the materialistic world, or though he was a smart person, he was always more intelligent, more mind-oriented, but not fully there. So now, in this dynamic, the divine masculine's mother, she starts loving, she builds up love and respect for the divine feminine, because she has now seen the journey of her son also, finally realizing his love for her. And now she also knows that no, she was actually a nicer girl, a nice person. But because there were so many problems between these two people, and I didn't even know her, I just, listening to my son, I came to that conclusion. But now she's not like that. So as per this channeling, I see that 3 of them are actually having some meal together. They are out in some place, and they are very comfortable with one another. It's not like, oh, she's my mother-in-law, or she's going to be my mother-in-law, or she's the mother of the guy I am dating. There is no such nervousness or weirdness or awkwardness. It's like we are all hanging out. We are all hanging out to have food, or, I just see them hanging out somewhere in an outdoor place, chilling, chit chatting and talking. They don't bring up the past and all. They don't talk about, they don't, dig the old graves and say, oh, I used to feel like this for you at one time. And all of that is not happening. They're simply in the present moment, enjoying a meal, enjoying each other's company, and they're discussing some things. And it's a very happy, very healthy picture. But I don't see the divine masculine's father. And I don't think the mother also now needs the approval of the father, or something like that is also being shown or playing up. That three of them are very comfortable with one another, and she's welcomed welcomed her in his life. And it's like she's not even saying that I'm the person who should welcome, or you need my permission, or even she's not acting like, oh, she's supposed to be my daughter-in-law, she should wear these type of clothes, she should talk like this, she should act like this. No, she's literally treating her like her own daughter, like her own family member, and seeing her like, this is the woman my son loves, and he has been in love with her for a long time, and they have both struggled a lot to be in a peaceful place. Finally, both of them went through a lot when they were separated. So I really admire their love and their courage and their, union. She obviously doesn't know the word union or reunion. That's for the twin flame community people to know. But she knows that they're back together, and they're back for good. And they should be like this. And there's no pressure on her, on the divine feminine, that you have to commit in a traditional way, or you have to be like this, you have to live in a traditional way with us, and this and that. None of that is happening. I see that all of them are very free, very relaxed, and they are just being themselves. So on this note, I'm going to end this channeling session. Thank you so much for being here with me. Much love, one love, and peace out.